Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem Rakakwadash, and the honors to the apostles and elders of Grand Millstone. The salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother, I am Noah Allah from GMS Chicago, and come back with you with another lesson. And this is alright. And you already heard on the news, there's a lot of talks about the U.S. about to strike Iran. They're moving warships around there. They're moving military personnel around there. All right, and they're getting ready to strike Iran over some nuclear deal. All right. But nonetheless, I was watching this video from Richie from Boston, and it goes to tell you that the ones running the show, all right, the ones that are pulling the strings are actually them little hats, all right, those Amalekites, all right, the elites, really, all right, and they're using, basically, they're getting Trump, to strike Iran. Otherwise, they would basically if Trump refuses to do so, they will basically threaten Trump by releasing the rest of the Epstein files, basically, and that goes ahead and shows that that the least of the flock is drawing the nations to war. All right, there's Jeremiah 50:45. It says. Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purpose that he hath purposed against the land of Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. And the least of the flock is, them little heads over there. Alright, they're drawing these nations out to war. Alright, provoking these nations to war. Alright. But we'll understand, alright, according to prophecy, alright, major prophecy has to come to pass first before, alright, World War III gets going, full blown, alright. And this is a prophecy that is coming down the pipe real soon, alright, which will be coming to pass first, right, before the nuclear destruction of Babylon the Great, which is America. But it's Revelation 13:16. It say, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Right? Strange shit. And hey, the R4D microchip is already in place. Right? It's, the infrastructure is basically ready to for this implementation of the RFID microchip. All right, and here you got people. New way by new way by this will be implemented on a global scale. All right, real soon, before the destruction of Babylon the Great, which will be hit by. All right, this prophecy will come to pass first before any of that happens. All right. On the news, I mean, You know, you got Trump threatening Iran. You see? Okay. So they're getting ready to strike, right? Um, you know, the tensions are definitely escalating, right? And oh, some recent news right here. U.S. carrier deployed as Iran tensions grows. The U.S. could be one step closer to take action against Iran. Aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford, an escorting destroyer, were spotted on Spain's southern coast on Friday. President Trump has said he is considering limited military strikes, and sources said the plan could include targeting individuals or leadership in Tehran. But yeah, you know, this is all going according to prophecy in scriptures, all right? Which, you know, a conventional war, all right, a on foot war will take place over there in the Levant, all right? The valley of Yehoshaphat, Yahweh's judgment. You know, that's a future prophecy right there, too, all right? Which will come to pass real soon as well. Like, literally, you know, straight off from the Bible. For behold, in those days, Joel 3 and 1, for in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. And, you know, that's a future prophecy too. After the implementation, after the destruction of Babylon the Great by nuclear fire, alright, and the deliverance, alright, way Lord is going to turn away our captivity, alright. Well, it says verse 2, but I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations in part of my land. They have cast all the nations, bring them down into the valley of Z. Go into that word Jehoshaphat. Yahweh Shaphat. Alright. Basically, Yahweh's judgment. Yahweh has judged. Alright, which will take place in the Levant. Alright. Where's the maps? See, right here. In the land barren and desolate, basically between Israel and Iran, which will be a future prophecy that will take place here in this land, barren and desolate, this desert, which people from America, alright, people like my age, are going to be drafted into this war real soon. It says, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there, meaning to judge, alright, plead, meaning to judge. Plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. It says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for a wine that they might drink. Yeah, you know, that's how they treated, you know, these other heathen nations, that's how they treated us as, you know, basically slaves. And we're still slaves already, even unto this very day, because what? Esau's in rulership. All right, he rules the entire world. All right, he owns every goddamn thing. All right, he controls the currency. Oh shit. Damn. Oh, Slovakia. I missed this part right here. It says, well, this is what's going on right now. Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And yeah, uh, they're gearing up for war. All right, even Russia is gearing up for war. All right, because uh, Iran is also part of the BRICS nations. All right, Iran is allies with Russia and China. If you U.S. versus Iran war. China readies 600 nuclear warheads as U.S. tensions. It's
Why are women so obsessed with men who smell like this?
How does it make you feel?
I would do some dirt.
China readies 600 nuclear warheads as U.S. to strike Iran within any moment now. So you see, they're basically allies. All right. Russia and Iran. Iran holds military drills with Russia amid tensions with the U.S. Iran covertly repositions strikes drones amid Russia drills in Straits of Hormuz, experts say. Russia will handle these. Putin aids powerful pledge in Iran. Nonetheless, things are happening. Alright? Well, yeah, these nations are right there. They're gearing up for war. It says, "Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks at the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." And these smaller nations, alright, that were once weak, alright, they're no longer weak anymore because now they have nuclear capabilities. Iran has nuclear capabilities. Alright, these smaller nations that America basically bullied back in the day. These smaller nations have advanced weaponry, all right, that can basically destroy America. It says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, where is at the Levant, all right. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Pull ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, and fats overflow, for their wickedness is great." And yeah, that's right. The Lord is getting ready to judge many nations, right? He's about to start, uh, putting people to death, right, in this third world war. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Let's go into that word decision. Threshing instrument, right? Well, you know, basically, the Lord's judgment, right? Yahweh's judgment. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel. Yeah, all these terrible things that are about to happen on this earth, right? These people are through, right? But those are the elect, all right? You got a hedge, all right? You got a covering, all right, from your power, all right? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? And hey, this goes ahead and shows you the future prophecy that will take place over there in Levant. It says, "But I will remove far off you the northern army," which is speaking about America, because you have North America and South America, right? "And I will drive him into a land barren and desolate, a desert basically, over there in the Levant, all right, between Israel and Iran, all right, basically over there in Levant, right, that desert area, with his face toward the east sea, and his inner part toward the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he had done great things." Says those in the front will be driven into the Dead Sea, and those at their rear into the Mediterranean. But nonetheless, it's a future prophecy that will take place. And yeah, before any of that actually happens, the chip has to come first. All right, these prophecies go in order. All right, but you can see the tensions. You can see the build up to this Third World War. All right, that is written in the Bible and is about to come to pass. But nonetheless, hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushua, and Shalom.